In this demonstration, we're going to look at using Performance Monitor, and we're also going to look at data collector sets. The purpose of Performance Monitor is to give me real-time statistics about the performance of my system, and data collector sets allow me to create these little logs where I can actually take this information and log the information. So the first thing we need to do really is we just need to actually launch our performance monitoring utilities. So we'll just come in here, we'll just go to Performance Monitor. Within Performance Monitor, what we have here is we have the Performance Monitor tab, and this shows me the current performance monitoring statistics in real time. So what I can do within here, if I just click on the little plus here, I can add additional counters. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to expand the physical disk. And on the physical disk, what I'm going to do here is I am actually just going to select percentage idle time. And in percentage idle time, I'm really interested in my C drive. So we'll just add this in here. And then what we'll do is we'll then just come to percentage idle time, and as we can see, we've added in this counter here. So we'll just select OK at this point here, and what we can see, if we scroll this down a little bit, we've now got our percentage idle time. So what we can do here, if we just right click on this and have a look at the properties, what we can do, we can have a look at the data, and all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to change the color of that counter to be the green color. So we can see the idle time, we can see really the disk was sitting there doing nothing at some point, it's now dropped off, now it's idle, so we can see that things are actually being written to or read from this disk. So that's the performance monitor. Now one of the other things we can do is we can create logs, and to do that we use data collector sets. So if we have a look at the data collector sets, we've got user defined data collector sets, that's the ones I would create. We've got our system created, so we've got system diagnostics, system performance. We can have a look at event trace sessions, we can see they're all currently running. And we can also decide exactly when these event trace sessions work. So what I want to do here is I actually want to create a user-defined data collector set. So we'll just right-click, create new, and create a data collector set. In the case of the name for this collector set, I'm going to call it CPU and disk activity. I'm going to click next. I'm going to actually create the template, or create this from a template. I'm going to go for basic. I'll then select next. And within here, where would I like the data to be saved? So at this point here, all I'm going to do here is I'm just actually going to save all of this to the default storage location, which is going to be system drive, performance logs, admin, CPU, and disk activity. So what we'll do now is we'll just finish this off. So that's all done now. Right, so now I've created that, let's just have a look at the properties. So what we've got here, just on the general page, what the general tab here is allowing me, it's allowing me to configure general information about the data collector set and the credentials that are used when it's up and running. If we have a look at the directory tab is allowing us to define information on how the collected data is stored. The security tab gives me information, allows me to configure which users can change the data collector set. The schedule tab, this defines when the data collector set is active and collecting data. The stop condition allows me to define when data collection is stopped based on the time or the data that's collected. And on the task tab here, this tab allows me to run a scheduled task when the data collector set stops. So this can be used to process the collected data. So we'll just cancel out of this now. So one of the things we notice here, we'll get these three little items here. So the performance counter, this collects the data that can be viewed in Performance Monitor. The actual kernel trace down here, this collects detailed information about system events and activities. And the configuration tab, this records changes to the registry keys. So if we just double click on the performance counter, for example, we can see that the processor counters are collected by default. So we can see all of these in place here. Now one of the things that we said we wanted to collect here was also disk. So we'll click add. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to scroll this up a little bit. We're just going to look for physical disk. We'll highlight the plus here. And what we're going to do is actually take the all of the counters. So we'll add in all of the counters for the physical disk. We'll click OK. Click OK again. And now what we can do is we can actually start collecting data. So we've kicked this little data collector off. We can see it's up and running at this minute now. So what will happen if we leave it long enough, it will actually stop automatically. What we'll do is we'll just stop it. So now that it's stopped, what we can now do is we can take the information from this performance counter, we can then have a look at the report and see exactly what's been logged. So we can see the information that's been logged, we can see CPU, we can see disk. So we just drop this down, we can see we've collected a bit of information here. We can have a look at the processors, and so on down the list. And that's the end of this demonstration on data collector sets and performance monitor. Thanks very much.